it's a conversation that it seems almost weird to have in what almost April of 2022, but we need to talk about websites because some folks still don't have one, or they haven't completely set it up, or they aren't aware of some of the options that are out there. And every business since 1995 pretty much has had a website, and you guys are all small businesses. So if you don't have one, you need one. It is literally your business card in 2022 and for the past 10 to 15 years. When someone refers you or someone goes, you know what, you should use the person we used. Her name was Tracy with an I. I think it was Leith. You should look her up. The first thing they're going to do is they're going to Google you. The second thing they're going to do is they're going to tap that button in the Google business panel that says website. And they're going to look at your website, i.e. your business card. They want to see, are you real? Are you a true, serious business person? Do you have all of the things that one would expect to find there of a serious business person? And I've got a couple of options here that a couple of different ways you can go if you don't have yours set up. And I'm going to share my screen and just go over a couple of the different ones that our agents use here. So,
we're about to get fancy here. Don't pull a muscle.
I'm trying not to. Okay. All right. Can you guys? Can you see my screen? All right. So, first of all, let's look at those like let's look at a Zap one. Okay. So these are free. You guys get these free. So this is stevedonino.com. This is Steve Danino's website. Comes up with a nice, pretty picture. They can search, find. It's got his phone number, most importantly, in the upper portion. It's got, why he does business, etc. So it's not bad. It's got a contact us page. Those completely suffice for what you need it to do in 2022. Folks aren't going here to search for homes. They search for homes on things like Zillow, etc. As much as we hate it, they shop on Amazon. They search for homes on Zillow, etc. That's a free one, totally free. Like that, it comes with just being affiliated with Century 21. Now, Worrell, who I thought I saw join us a minute ago, Worrell is not clicking on his. All right. There we go. Worrell uses something called Squarespace. Okay. Squarespace, you can design your own website, and it's like $18 a month. So it's really, 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 really inexpensive. It gives you a little bit more control over it. You can include a blog like he has. He has his about page, has his home page with featured listings. One thing you'll notice about Squarespace and about maybe one or two of the others I'm going to show you is these websites are truly, truly designed for mobile. They're meant to be viewed on these things because 76% of all the views are going to come on these things. Okay. So, and the phone, I'm talking about my phone if you weren't looking at the little tiny box. But that's why their pictures are full size. They go from edge to edge. The descriptions are nice and big. There's a contact form, always important, link to social media. And one of the key things that folks look at when they go to look at your website is how old is this thing? How outdated is it? So if you click on his blog, you see, well, he just made a post on March 7th. So, okay, that's this month. All right, February 28th, February 21st, the 15th. Okay, so he makes about a post a week. Okay, good job. So they know Worrell is currently doing business. This is active and it's good information. Every one of these articles that he's going out and digging up information on is good information. So it's helpful, it's informative, and it's current. Three very, very, very important things when they look at your business card, i.e. website. He does have the option to do a property search, but if you notice what he did here is instead of paying for IDX per month, he actually just linked it back over to his Business Builder or Zap website for free. Okay. So he put a property search button on his website, but it takes him back to the Century 21 tool that you guys are provided with just by being associated with Century 21. All right. Let's click over to Bob Clarkson, who has a great testimonial page on bobclarksonrealestate.com. Of course, he has the Contact Bob button down here, and he also has Contact Bob button up here, smart, top and bottom. And you see these rotate through here, and folks can rotate through them. So you can read the different testimonials from all these folks on what it was like to work with Bob. He has current listings. He has which also goes to his Century 21. He has pages like My Commitment, My Community, My Communication, Accolades, About Me. He, on his website, since he has one of the custom built ones that Mike Thomas can build for agents in our company, for $699, he has a page featuring his team. So he even has the staff featured on his website and what they do in each of their bios. Really cool feature. Just shows that he's not out there doing this by himself. He has an entire team behind him. Articles on how to sell your home, how to buy a house. And some of this is not working over the Zoom, but that's okay. Let's look at Rip's real quick. Rip has the same template as Bob. You'll notice the same layout. This is the home page. So Mimi and Warrell are the customers in this video, and Rip is they're signing a contract with Rip.
We've heard about those two. Now, rumors get started.
That's how rumors get started. That's exactly right. Rip has a video on every page. Imagine that. And he has his Meet Rip the Realtor on his home page. These custom ones have all this movement that things flow in as you scroll through, and it looks just as good on mobile as well. So keep that as a mind after you have a closing or two. Same thing, Meet My Team. And he has the same featured information as Bob. Their websites don't cross over, so no one's going to be looking at both of those things. Client testimonials, he decided to do some video stuff in there as well. So he got a video from a client, and he has that featured at the top of the page, and then he just listed his out instead of opting for the motion to rotate through. And he just keeps adding them here. These are very easy to edit in the back end. Rip being Rip, and I want you to think about this when you're doing your website. You be you. So your personality should come through in your website. Rip's, I think everyone on this call would agree that Rip's personality is a little bit different than Bob's. So where Bob's is very straightforward, very business related, very professional and corporate. Rip wanted to rename things like, why use Rip? And and he put his funny videos on places on the website. His promise to everyone, what he's going to do, his rap videos, his looks completely different as far as content goes from Bob's. So there's different options all the way from free to $18 a month to one-time fees of $6.99 to plus then you pay for your hosting with whoever you host it with. But the point is, in 2022, if you don't have a current up-to-date website, they're going to Google you. They're going to tap that website button in the Google Business panel, and then they're going to move right on. If they see it and it's out of date, they see it and the technology's out of date, hasn't been updated in years and years, or the articles and the content, last time you posted was November of 2021, or God forbid, 2020. they automatically assume you aren't in business anymore, or you're not very thorough and you're not keeping up with things. So don't let that happen. Make sure there's always new, fresh, current content on your website, no matter which of the ones you use, from free all the way to the one-time fee of $700 for that guy. So it's your business card. You should treat it like that. Know that folks are going to go there and they're going to look at it and they're going to judge you based on your website and what they find there. Very, very important, guys. And if you don't have one or you're not happy with the one you have, just come see me and let's talk about it and let's figure out which option is best for you and point you in the right direction. You gotta have that. It's as paramount that you have that as it is anything else in your business. They will pass right over you without it. All right. Does anybody have any questions?
They will, Rob, and we all do the same thing in our day-to-day lives, don't we?
Yes,
if I'm going to go to a new restaurant, I'm probably going to Google it, look at the menu and the prices, and I'll even look at reviews. Though, I think I'm pretty typical. I don't really believe all the reviews, but it gives me a sense. It makes me feel a little bit more comfortable. And I don't even mind seeing a bad review every once in a while.
Right.
I don't know what the exact ratio is, but a bad review just makes all the good reviews a little bit more legitimate. Now, if there's a couple of reviews in there where a rat ran across my foot while I'm having dinner, I might make another selection, but I think we know what we're talking about here. Now, we give you websites to get started with, and the way I like to say, Rob polished it up and was really nice, but I mean, they're like websites with training wheels on them, right? They're not highly customized. They're pretty generic. And this is like so important because before people, well, just know this, it might make you feel a tad uncomfortable. Before any customer meets with you for the first time, you can be almost 100% sure that they've gone online and Googled you. And if they do, have you Googled you recently? What do you find? And would people be impressed with that? Are they impressed with you? Do they want to hire you before you even show up? Rob, you showed different levels of websites here. Some of them, like Ribs, looked complex and really expensive to me. So talk about that a little bit. I don't know anything about developing a website. I know Worrell did, but that's because he's cheap.
And he's also very smart.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later. I don't know how to do that, and I definitely don't want to spend all weekend putting it together. What's that going to cost me? And I don't even know how to tell the person what I want. Kind of walk us through how you get started with creating an online presence that paints me in a good light. How do I get started with that?
The first thing you do is you start looking up websites that you like, and you look at I'll use Mike's word that he uses from time to time. You steal it.
Steal it.
You steal it. You go and you find a website and you're like, I like that. I like what it says. I like how it says it. It just should have my name in it. Well, then copy it and put it into a Word doc and take out that name and put in yours. Also take out like the cities and stuff that you work in. Fix it. Make it yours. And once you rewrite that, you've got that page on your site. Then you just have to think, what kind of imagery would look good with that? Look at what other real estate agents are doing. Rip on the last screen that I shared is leaning against the big table out here, texting on his phone, and that's on his My Communication page. So he's communicating with folks. He's actually showing folks, I'm actually, I get back to you. I respond to you. And if you have questions on how to do that, just, hop on the calendar, come see me, and I'll talk you through each kind of image that you need. And then if you're in the office here, we can just take the image. I'll take it for you give it to you, and we can get it over to whoever's putting together your website if you're having someone third party do it like Mike Thomas. If you want to do it yourself, let's go back all the way to the very beginning. If you want to do it yourself on Zap, it's with training wheels. So you don't have, nearly as many options as you do on the other end of that spectrum, but you still have a lot of options that a lot of folks don't take advantage of. So if you haven't, and you want to talk about that, I'll be glad to sit down and go over each one of them with you too. There are, on your Zap website, most folks don't know this, there's similar to how they have how to buy a house and how to sell a house on Bob and Rips. There are buyer insights and seller insights is what they call it. It's basically a page for each one of those things, how to buy a house, how to sell a house. And there are plenty of articles on how to do that you could borrow for a while and put on your website and just customize it a little bit. It's super easy to find the content that you want out there. It does take some searching and some looking, because you got to find out something that is you, something that Rip building his website. Rip could not go to Bob's website and go, well, I just want to use that stuff that's on that page, because that's not Rip. It wouldn't read like Rip. It would be phony and no one would believe it, especially after they met him. So if you have questions about what kind of content should go on each individual page of yours, again, I'll talk you through it one-on-one, because it's hyper individual per person. Trevon's is different than Worrell's, is different than Guggins. They're all completely different. But once you decide which platform you want to set up on, let's say you want to start with Zap, with training wheels, then let's make sure you take full advantage of that and get all the information into each one of those pages that you can. And that will suffice until you have a closing or two and you set aside some funds where you go, no, I want a more technological, fancy one like Rip and Bob, and the Maxwells are in the process of getting the same website platform as those two.
Okay, so let's talk about that for a second, because we say fancy and that sounds really expensive, but how much does it really cost, and who would do it for us? Like, do we have a website developer?
Sure.
Who is that, and what kind of cost could I expect?
So it's $699, $700, and it's all in and it's done. And then you can maintain it. It's WordPress. It's a simple content management system. It's one of the easiest CMS systems out there. And it's real easy to maintain. And I can walk you through getting you started on that. And he will as well.
So how much to build the website?
$700.
And what's the ongoing fee to maintain it?
Just your hosting. And that depends on who you get hosting from. It could be anywhere from $100 a year to to $50 a month, depending on what company.
Okay, so give us an average. Let's answer the question.
$20 a month.
Okay, good. So like I know we're all challenged on stuff like this, but this is a basic business tool in today's world.
Yeah.
And we can use the free ones, but they don't have a lot of customization available to them, and they don't have a lot of functionality. And your business needs to look uniquely like you. Sure, you can take inspiration from what other people have done, but you want to customize it and make it uniquely yours and uniquely to the audience that you're trying to appeal to. Okay, so Worrell, your website and Guggins' website while they could look similar in format, what they're appealing to should be radically different, because your people are radically different, right? Right. And Rob, can you help us come up with that format and just kind of like bounce ideas off each other?
Sure. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. And $700 to build a nice, functional, customized website with some functionality to it, that's really very inexpensive.
And you shouldn't have to spend another dime on that for probably 4 years at the rate that technology changes. So if you break that out, it's, less than $200 a year.
The world today, right? I mean, we're all doing this. We're checking out businesses online before we do business with them, just to get a level of comfortability. Are you doing a deep dive? Do you read every page on every business's website? Or do you just kind of look at it and you're trying to gain a sense of, do they look credible to me? Do they look like a scam artist to me? Do they look like a fly-by-night company? Or do they look legitimate? And how do you convey that sense of, no, they look legitimate. They look like they know what they're doing. They look like they have a systemized approach to things. I would feel safer with them. The way you generate those sensations is with the level of website that you build out. So yeah, we have the free ones, but I am actually, for maybe the first time ever, actually encouraging you to spend money. I'm a big free guy, right? But this is so important that I want each of you, when your prospects are checking you out, to go, no, Athena looks like she knows what she's doing. She looks like a player. I could feel safe working with her. And that's what we're going for.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. So steal. Yeah, I'm a big fan of stealing, but make it your own. You took the inspiration. Musicians do this all the time. You'll hear them talk about other musicians that influenced them in their career. I didn't copy their songs, but if you listen to my songs, you'll hear part of their songs in mine. They influenced me. I didn't rip them off. I made it my own, but yeah, I've been influenced by a lot of different people. And that's what, when I joke with you about stealing, that's what I mean. Take the inspiration from other people, but make it your own. Tracy, yours has got to be a reflection of who you are. And if it's not, it won't seem right. It'll just feel like this is wrong. Questions?
I like to say that, and I've kind of told some of the folks this, that a good website versus a bad website, or an outdated website or an unkept website, it's kind of the difference between you putting yourself out there and doing business as a real estate agent with a Worrell Thomas Real Estate at gmail.com versus a real estate domain. When folks see somebody doing business with a Gmail address, it just doesn't carry the authenticity and the weight that a real business would have. So the same thing with a bad or unkept website or outdated and old website. It just doesn't carry that weight of true business professional, somebody they can trust.
So let's close with this morning. This is like cutting your own hair. Okay. So when a prospect, you and Worrell are competing for the same listing. When the prospect goes to Worrell's website, I want them to think, well, he cuts his own hair. When they go to Trebon's website, I want them to think, oh, that dude looks good. He's got somebody who knows what they're doing cutting his hair. That's the difference. That's all I have.
All right, guys, have a great day.
Bye.